Alrighty, what is going on, Gorilla Gang? So today we're talking about something a little bit different, but it's still in the theme of the channel and still something that I have a decent amount of experience in. And we recently had a pretty good power outage here. We had a pretty good windstorm here in Western Washington, and our power was out for about 3 days. And something that I found and I realized very quickly was my Steamdeck really just didn't hold up on battery life. I did not realize how often I was actually plugging that in to recharge my Steamdeck, and how there was a lot of AAA games that just drained my battery life like you would not believe. Fallout 4. So today we're going to be discussing a Steam Deck versus the Nintendo Switch, and which would be better for you, which you would rather have, and the reasons to both, the benefits and downsides of both. All right, roll that intro.
Welcome to the PNW Gorilla channel. I keep getting copyright claims for my music, so now we're singing about stuff. Oh my god, a Barrett 50 cal, shooting at night, walking at night, looking at night, out of the video.
Alrighty, obligatory ad right quick. This video is sponsored by me. I own a military surplus company. I sell this jacket. If you would like to get a Flecktarn German issue parka, go ahead and hit up my website. As of time of recording, they are currently having everything on my website is free shipping for Veterans Day week. All right, ad over, get that out of here. Okay, so we're talking a Steam Deck versus a Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm talking about the Steam Deck OLED, and I've put a couple of the processor upgrades, and I have like the upgraded graphics card, and I have a 1 terabyte memory, and I have the internal memory, and I've got about 3 terabytes of memory that I can have on the inside of this, which is pretty cool. Now, that being said, all the games here are not physical games. Everything here is downloaded. Overall, I have roughly $1,000 into this system. And overall, like I said in the beginning, you're getting anywhere between 2 to 4 hours of battery life of playtime out of this, which, you know, really isn't the best, but you are getting some pretty decent graphics of this. This is going to run games significantly better than an Xbox 360 and an Xbox One, in my opinion. I think this system runs a lot of games significantly better than the Xbox consoles. Once again, my opinion, some people might disagree with me. I've really enjoyed the Steam Deck. I have been having a lot of fun with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is really comfortable in the hands. Everything feels right. It feels right. The buttons are clicky. It's in the right placement. It's actually a pretty decent screen. The audio output is pretty well. Overall, I kind of hate the touchpads. Every game that wants me to use the touchpads, I do everything I possibly can to avoid the touchpads at all costs. I hate the touchpads. It's not that they're like, I don't know, I just don't like it. Once again, personal preference. But all the games on here, for the most part, run really well. There are some games on the Steam Deck that, for whatever reason, you can download on Steam and are available on Steam and just are not accessible and don't work on the Steam Deck. The reasons escape me. One of the biggest complaints that I have is all the Command & Conquer games do not work. That is infuriating. And then, for whatever reason, there is Halo Wars 1, but not Halo Wars 2. And that also is infuriating, because I think Halo Wars 2 is a significantly better RTS, but that doesn't matter. That's just me complaining. Another issue with the Steam Deck versus the Nintendo Switch is that because you have all digital games on the Steam Deck, this then means that games might need to be updated, and you can no longer play the games, even though you have been completely offline, even though you haven't been connected to the internet. Just for reasons unbeknown to you, you can no longer play a game because of reasons I don't know. Currently, I cannot play the Master Chief Collection. There is not a single game on the Master Chief Collection that will boot up for me, and it's saying that I need to update some processor, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how to find it. Once again, I am not the most intelligent man that ever did learn biology. So, you know, that escapes me, and that leads me into one thing that I love about the Nintendo Switch is physical copies. I really enjoy physical copies. I enjoy the fact that I can open up a case, take out a game, and put it inside my console, and it runs. I love that. I love that so very much that I can just pop open the top, and oh, look at that. I have Minecraft. It's on this little cartridge, and I can just badoop, and now I'm playing Minecraft in minutes. I absolutely love that about the Nintendo Switch. That is something that I've always loved about Nintendo games through the entirety of all Nintendo handhelds, is the fact that you have physical copies and they just work. That is something that I really enjoy about that. So we'll be going back and forth here of benefits and downfalls and et cetera, et cetera. Now, the biggest thing that I would like to get into with the Nintendo Switch, I would say the number one thing is that for fairly inexpensive, you can now have 4 people playing on the Nintendo Switch. For very, very easily, you can just pop off the corners, and now this is your screen, and these are your controllers. And you have little bumpers on the sides, and you can now use this as a controller. And I think that is really cool, and that's something that the Nintendo Switch has that the Steam Deck just kind of lacks. Now, the Steam Deck wasn't designed to be like a party game system, right? And that makes sense. That makes sense. This was more designed with like kids in mind, and the Steam Deck is more designed for adults on the go. So I understand, why they are what they are. But what is really cool is that if you have friends, if you have children, if you have family members that are into games, or hell, they're just bored and the power's out and you don't know what else to do, you have physical copies and you have multiple games that you can now play with multiple people. You can have 4 people playing, Minecraft. You can have 4 people now playing Super Smash Bros, Mario Party, good Lord, words are hard, Mario Kart. And it's just fun. It's just simply fun. Oh, correction. You can have 8 people playing Super Smash Bros. Would you look at that? Well, that's just cool. I was wrong. So, beyond being able to entertain multiple people really, really easily, and I do think that is a huge upside, specifically if you're trying to buy these in the mindset of emergency preparedness and the grid going down, the power going out, what have you, whatnot, being able to entertain multiple people for a lot longer as well. It is going to be a lot easier to charge it. You're going to get a lot more battery life out of it, and you're going to be able to entertain more people for a longer duration. So for that in itself, the Nintendo Switch is absolutely going to win. But another huge, huge plus point is that you can buy a Nintendo Switch used. I got both this and this for $200 at a pawn shop. So I have 4 controllers, and I can now play with 4 people for $200. And then to buy these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, I also spent less than $200. So for all of this, buying all of this used at local pawn shops, I was able to get this for $400. All right. The Steam Deck alone, if you're buying the OLED and you're buying now you can get the cheaper version of the Steam Deck, absolutely. I got the fancy version. I wanted to be able to run my AAA games at the highest capacity I possibly could, so that makes sense. But even the cheapest version of the Steam Deck, you can still get all of this for cheaper. So once again, if you're looking at this in the mindset of emergency preparedness, the Nintendo Switch just makes more sense overall. Now, like I was saying previously, the Steam Deck is going to be significantly better if it is just you and you are a video gamer on the go and you want to be able to play video games, wherever and whenever you want. The Steam Deck's going to make significantly more sense. Now, that being said, if you are a backpacker like myself, and now I've had this on mountaintops, I don't know how many times. If you guys watch my content, I've played Halo in the middle of absolute nowhere.
Doesn't look like Halo CE.
You're trying to tell me that doesn't look like Halo. I'm playing some Halo.
Yeah, I'll bring it up and then we'll look at the comparison.
Yeah, let's go. See, if I steal this Banshee right here, then I can skip that whole section and then just come over right to this door. It's kind of a vibe, but as you can tell, the Steam Deck is significantly larger. Now, that being said, though, is look at the size of the screen, right? Like you're getting a lot more output. You're gonna have a lot larger screen. It's a lot more comfortable in the hand. The Steam Deck definitely wins in the mindset of, you know, being a solo gamer and just being a gamer on the go. The Steam Deck makes a lot more sense. For emergency preparedness, for the power going out, for trying to save money, the Nintendo Switch wins in every single category. So the question, if you are trying to get either one of these, right? The question is going to be, what do you want out of a handheld? Now, not only that, so this is getting about 16 amp hours of battery life, a small Jackery, which I spent, I want to say this was 140 bucks. This has 300 hours or 300 amp hours of battery life. All right, so theoretically, I could charge this, like, what is that math, like 10 times off of this, right? And so with buying a Jackery, a very small, let's see, this is the Explorer 300. So for buying a Nintendo Switch, these 7 games and a Jackery and a solar panel, all right, you are still spending less than a Steam Deck, all right? And this is a pretty decent size solar panel too. I mean, like, and I've been able to charge my cell phone off of this very, very quickly. Now, mind you, I will say I just got the Nintendo Switch. I have not tried to charge the Nintendo Switch off of this solar panel. So I will let you guys know that I've not charged the solar panel or the Nintendo Switch off this solar panel. I have, however, charged the Steam Deck off of this solar panel, and it took me about 5 hours to get a full charge with direct sunlight from this. So with this being 40 amp hours of battery life versus the 16 or 17, I'm forgetting, my apologies, but I would expect that the Nintendo Switch would charge astronomically faster with a solar panel. So once again, the big question here, right, is that what do you want out of, oh no, everyone's gonna make fun of my hair. What do you guys want out of a handheld? Why do you have a handheld? Do you want it just for you, or do you want to be able to entertain multiple people for a lot longer time, right? Are you a gamer on the go? Or are you just a casual gamer that, you know, wants to play Mario Kart or Super Mario Party or Minecraft or Super Smash Bros. Or Zelda or Sonic or Civilization 4? I mean, with these games alone, you are more than likely going to get significantly more entertainment than in a Steam Deck in a grid down, power down situation. If you guys are new to the channel, I talk a lot about emergency preparedness. I talk about firearms, as you can see here. So we're kind of, we're sort of getting out of the main talking point of the channel, but still keeping on the same topic of, you know, how are you gonna entertain your family and your friends? You know, like board games, puzzles, and decks of cards only last so long. They are going to get old, especially for the vast majority of us that have grown up in the internet age, right? We're addicted to technology. We're addicted to that stimuli. So, you know, morale is huge. Morale is massive. When the power goes out, morale is going to be something that you guys need to, you know, keep in the back of your head of the women and children in your family, your neighbors, your friends' family. You need to be able to entertain multiple people. And you don't always have to be playing a video game to be getting entertainment out of that video game and take your mind away from the fact that you don't have electricity or you don't have the social media, you don't have the internet. And this is a very, very simple way, and let's be honest, an inexpensive way to have a lot of entertainment for, you know, hours and hours and hours, especially if you get, you know, some sort of Jackery. And this is just one of the cheaper ones, right? There's larger jackeries. There's larger of the solar powered generators. You can get a full size generator, and you could be running your Xbox, your PlayStation, your computer or whatever on a full powered generator. The question is, do you have the money, and do you have the space to be able to run that? With this setup, you're not taking up a whole lot of space. If you are in a urban environment, if you're in an apartment, if you're in a skyscraper apartment, this would be very easy to be able to keep long-term entertainment for you and your family and your loved ones. So once again, to summarize and to wrap it all up, do you guys want a Steam Deck, or do you want a Nintendo Switch? Do you guys want another console that's on the market? That's something that I haven't even gotten into yet. By no means are these the only consoles on the market. This is just what I've done the most research on, and I found that sort of seem to be the most popular and the most go-to and the most trustworthy handhelds. And this one's designed more for kids and for family and for entertainment and family fun, and this is more designed for the gamer on the go. And there's different reasons and different benefits for both. So do you guys want both? Do you want one or the other? That's really going to come down to you. That's going to come down to what makes the most sense for you. And yeah. So if you guys like this talk, if you like talk on emergency preparedness and firearms and all this type of jazz and military surplus, then go ahead and maybe follow the channel. I don't know. Follow it, don't. I don't care, do you? But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, by all means, throw that down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything that I said here that was incorrect, or maybe I was a little bit off on anything, by all means, let me know. Hell, make the comment section, a conversation. Let me know what you guys think. But as always, appreciate you guys watching. Never, ever, ever black pill. We are going to make it. AF together strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.